What if I told you a record-breaking 400,000 migrants have battled through the perilous Darién jungle in a desperate attempt, reached the US? Welcome to a new episode of Hear the Web with your hosts, Tom and Lily.
It's an alarming situation, Tom. These folks are traversing a streak of roadless forests that separates South America and Central America because they have no other choice.
Absolutely, Lily. Just picturing Bajo Chiquito, the first place migrants touch base in Panama after crossing the jungle. A small indigenous village along a river. Migrants lining up under the scorching sun, waiting to register with the immigration officers. It's a striking image.
Imagine standing in line for 2 days, exhausted and dehydrated from the hike, only for your struggle to be met with 3 laptops to process everyone. And as Valeria Aponte, a Venezuelan migrant, points out, if they leave the line, they lose their spot. It's a system of survival of the most patient.
And that patience is dwindling fast, isn't it, Lily? Despite a US-backed deal to end this illicit movement, Panamanian officials reported a sharp increase from nearly 250,000 people in 2022 to 400,000 in the first 9 months of this year.
That's right, Tom. This influx of migrants has resulted in a humanitarian crisis. Both Panama and Costa Rica have declared this situation as national security threats. But let's not forget, a quarter of these migrants are children.
It's a staggering statistic. And the risks involved are high. According to Doctors Without Borders, in the first 6 months of this year itself, it treated 216 women and girls who were sexually assaulted on this very route.
There's also the threat from nature itself. Take Dr. Ariel Garibaldi's account, for instance. He's treated women who've lost their babies on the way, or those attacked by African bees. Sometimes they run out of essential medical supplies and have to make do till they get a replenishment.
And yet, despite these grim tales, a steady flow of migrants from South America, Africa, and Asia risk it all to escape poverty and violence, seeking a better quality of life, crossing the treacherous Darién Gap.
A heart-pounding account comes from Delvis Davila, a welder from Venezuela who made the 4-day trek, only to witness 8 corpses of migrants en route. He precisely sums it up as a journey no one should ever wish for.
Interestingly, Lily, a great chunk of these migrants, approximately 55% to be precise, are Venezuelans. In fact, many who failed to rebuild their lives elsewhere are embarking on the dangerous journey for a second or even third time.
But Tom, let's not omit one key catalyst that people seem to overlook. Policy changes pushed by the Biden administration have indirectly turned this jungle route into the de facto pathway. Juan Papier of Human Rights Watch emphasizes this by saying how visa requirements for Venezuelans and Ecuadorians, once able to take flights to Mexico, now force them to cross this dangerous jungle.
True, Lily. As per Panama's National Immigration Department, about 248,000 people, mostly Cubans and Haitians, crossed the Darién in 2022. Papier warns us that this figure is set to rise if safer routes aren't found.
Speaking of safer routes, the Biden administration opened 3 offices in Colombia in June, called Regional Processing Centers, where asylum seekers can apply for permits to fly to the U.S. But this has seen slow progress due to high demand.
And while the authorities grapple with this issue, migrants continue to pour into Bajo Chiquito, where they struggle to register and then hop onto small boats that take them to a government-run camp at Lajas Blancas. It's a tense, endless cycle.
Yeah, it's just one part of the long road to the United States, their land of hope and opportunities. As Delvis Davila puts it, he can't spend the rest of his life working for almost nothing. He speaks for thousands of others who risk everything to provide for their families back home.
Truer words have never been spoken, Lily. Let's hope the concerned authorities resolve this precarious situation soon, because clearly, for these hopefuls, the quest for a better life warrants braving the Darién jungle.
Good point, Tom. But for now, let's wrap up today's episode of Hear the Web. Remember, every person rehearsing their sacrifices has a story to tell. Let's take a moment to ponder over that until our next conversation. Goodbye.